Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video we're going to be working on this simple mesh bag. It's a shoulder over shoulder bag that is going to be the first one for the channel, so I hope you guys will like it. I've been asked by you guys to make some accessories such as bags and things like that, so this is the first one, bag that we're going to be doing on the channel. It's very simple, it's very easy, so I hope you guys would like it. Make sure you watch the video to the end and make sure you like, comment and subscribe and share as well. But yeah, this is what we're going to be working on. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay my lovelies, so just quickly about the materials that I'm using to make this bag. It's my first bag in the channel, you guys. I hope you guys would really love this. But anyways, we're gonna make it simple like I showed you here. But this is the yarn we're gonna be using. It's a yarn I have had for a while, and I think I scrapped a project to be able to get it like this. But I know that this is Red Heart that I got probably a couple of years ago, and I did a project with it, and then I undid it to be able to do this project. I love red, it's my favorite color. But yeah, this is it here. It's a medium weight number 4, and as you can see it's red, but honestly the rest of the information I don't remember. But this is what we're going to be using. Okay, for a crochet hook I'm going to be using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is I9 US, and a scissors, of course, to be able to cut your strands. I have a tape measure just in case you guys need it. I'm not gonna need it per se, but in case you need to be able to measure the size of bag that you're making, you need one. I have my darning needle here to weave in our ends, and I have some stitch markers also in case you need it. I don't think I'm gonna need them, but if you need them, please get them ready for yourself. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be doing. So let me just get rid of everything on the table beside my hook and my yarn, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do here is we're gonna start by creating a base for our bag. So we're gonna do a little bit of a solid bottom. Okay, so as you guys saw in the pictures that I showed you, we have a solid bottom, and then we mesh it up. The rest of it is gonna be in a mesh form. Okay, so to do this part, we're gonna start by doing a slip knot. Okay, so do a slip knot however you find it comfortable, however you feel works better for you. And then we're gonna start by doing a chain of 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and this is going to be the wideness of the bottom of your bag. If you do want it to be more narrow, you do less chains. If you want it to be wider in the bottom, please make sure you do more chains. Okay, so this is our working chain right here, but we're gonna skip the first chain here. And in the next, we're going to go in and grab the back loop to complete a single crochet, just like this. Okay, and then we're gonna go into the next chain right here, grab the back loop and complete a single crochet, and then go into the next, grab it and do a single crochet. And as you can see, it is as simple as this. For the first row, we're just going to do our single crochets from the back loop of the chain, the back part of the chain. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and finish these, and at the end you should have 8 stitches because we did a chain of 9. We skipped the first chain to be able to do our first single crochet, and then you should have 8 all together here. So for these 8, I have about, if we do a quick measuring here, I have about 2.5 inches. Okay, so 2.5 inches for my for the base of my bag here. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do our regular single crochet. So this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So in that very first stitch right here, we're gonna go in and grab and do a single crochet. Then we're gonna go into the next stitch and do a single crochet, and into the next stitch, single crochet, and then we're going to do this all the way across. Okay, so again, for those of you who are used to me doing back loop single crochets for most of my projects, this one you don't. Okay, so don't go in the back loop only, just go through both loops to complete your single crochet. And so make sure you go into this last one as well and complete a single crochet. So that's your 8 stitches here, and it's your second row. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn, and then you're going to repeat that again. and you're going to repeat this until you have the wideness or the length that you're looking for your bag. And by length I mean the base of your bag. Okay, so how long do you want the base of your bag to be, or wideness I would say then, and then you're gonna work this until you get there. So this is the end of my row 3, so it looks very simple like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work it like this until I have the length of the base of the bag. Okay, so whatever that is gonna be for you, go ahead and do that. And when you've completed that, come back, but make sure you end with I often like to end with an even number, but if you end up with an odd number, it's okay. But I'm gonna often end up with an even number. Not that it's mandatory, but I do mine like that. Okay, when you have that completed, come back to the video, please, and I will show you how to move on to the next step. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the bottom part of my bag here. That is how wide I want it to be, and this is the length of the bottom that I want it to be. So we already know that this width here is 2.5 inches. So we're going to quickly measure the length of this part in the bottom to see how long it is, and it's about 10.5 inches. Okay, and this is not me stretching it at all, it's about 10.5 inches. And so that's what we have. Okay, and that's the length that I find comfortable, and I would like to use that. And again, if you stretch it, it does stretch. Not that you need it to stretch, but if you're putting something in this bag that is a little bit wide, it will stretch to kind of make sure that whatever you're putting in kind of fits in. Obviously not everything, but you know, it's gonna give you enough workspace to be able to fit something larger than it looks. Okay, so now that we have completed that, as you can see, I finished my final single crochet right there. So we're going to just do a row of single crochet all around to create a base on where we're going to work the rest of the stitches. And so in this same stitch, which is this the last stitch that I did, I'm going to go into the same stitch and complete a second single crochet just like that. And this creates a corner here for me. And then I'm going to go into this space right here to complete another single crochet just like that. Then I'm going to go into this space here and complete a single crochet, and then into this space here to do a single crochet. And as you can see, I don't have stitches, so I keep using this term in the space. It's because on these sides here I don't have actual stitches to work into, but my golden rule is often that this section here, for example, of your work is 2 stitches, is 2 rows of the single crochet. So if I put one here and I put one here, it means I'm putting one in each stitch, and then you work yourself around like that. Okay, but yeah, I just want to make sure you're spacing them good enough that they're not too wide apart and they're not too close together, and they're just nice and even, and you just go around. Okay, so as you can see, this is how it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna do this all the way, and then when you get to this end here, I will show you how to go into the corner and how to work yourself around and come back all the way to where we just started off here. And when you do that, we're gonna go ahead and get started with doing the meshes. Okay, so for now, meet me at this corner here so I can show you how to work your 2 single crochets into the corner there. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my single crochets on this side here, and I'm gonna go ahead now and work in the corner. So I'm gonna make this my corner here, which is the very last row of the, or the very beginning of the row earlier, but the end of this side here. And I'm just gonna go into that and do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So again, that creates a corner similar to the one that I did at the beginning here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and continue doing my single crochets on this side. So I just go and complete a single crochet, and this side has stitches that I can work into, so I don't have to worry about what space I'm putting my stitches into. I just go and put my stitches in every stitch that I have on this side. Okay, so I continue this all the way, and again, as you can see, I'm coming back to this corner. So in this corner, I'm gonna go in and do 2 single crochets again. So 1 and oops, and 2. Okay, and then I move on, and as you can see, we have this gap here. We're just gonna start that as our first stitch right here. Then we're gonna go into the next and do our next stitch there. And as you can see, I'm just gonna go ahead and weave in the little string that I have when we started this this project, and I'm just gonna go around with it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do this all the way. Then when you get to this base here, you're gonna come back to the video because I'm gonna show you what to do next. But the one thing to remember at this point is that count how many stitches you had on this side here. On this side here, count how many stitches you had, and that is minus the 2 in the corner and minus the 2 in the corner. And whatever number you have here, make sure you're matching it to this side here, because you want it to be that you have the same number of stitches from one side to the other, because it's going to help to balance your project so that you're not having too many stitches on one side and the other side not too many. Okay, so go ahead and do that. I will talk to you when I come back a little bit about if you end up for some reason not having the same number of stitches. But because if you follow this thing that I told you earlier when we're on this side, you should be able to have enough. And for me, I will have 36 on this side and 36 on that side, just because of the number of rows that I had previously and how I work my work to be able to do these single crochets on the side. Okay, so let's go all the way here and then come back to the video. Okay, my lovely, so I have done my single crochets around, so I'm back to here, this corner here. So I'm gonna show you quickly how to do this corner here and then how to move over to this side. Okay, so I'm gonna go again right into this very last corner here, and I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 single crochets just like that, and then I'm gonna move on and do a single crochet in every stitch going across to where we started off this row, these single crochets going around. Okay, and then when we get there, we will be able to start our mesh rows. And as you can see, I go all the way to here. This is the last stitch, and then I need to go get into the corner here. So what I will do is I will just go ahead and do a slip stitch like this, and then slip stitch into the very corner like that. Okay, and now that I have reached the corner where every row is gonna start and end, I'm going to go ahead and do a chain of 2, and then into that very corner I'm gonna do a double crochet. So your chain 2 here counts as a double crochet, and then now you added a second double crochet to go into the corner. And as you can see, it seems like it's a little bit crooked here. I think I'm gonna undo and go into here as my corner. Let's just undo that. Yeah, so we're gonna go into, and it actually is correct. This is not the corner, this is the corner here. So just a small detail that you don't want to miss. So we're gonna go into here and do a slip stitch, which is in our corner. Then we're gonna do a chain of 2, which counts as a double crochet. And then we're gonna go into that stitch again and complete a second double crochet. Okay, so that way now it looks better for this to be the corner here. And then we're gonna start our meshes. Okay, so we're gonna do a chain of 1. We're going to skip this stitch here, and in this stitch we're going to do a double crochet just like that. And then we're gonna skip this stitch, do chain 1, skip this stitch. In this next one, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip this stitch. In this stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, and then you just continue this pattern where you do a chain 1, skip a stitch, do a double crochet in the next stitch, all the way until you get to this corner here. So work your stitches until you get to, let's say this is the final stitch before the corner. Do that and then come back to the video, and I will show you how to work into that corner. We will go together to this corner and do that, and then I'll have you guys finish the rest of it on your own, and we'll do about 2 or 3 rows of this mesh just so you see how to work into the corners. And then that's pretty much what you repeat until you have what you need for the length of your bag. Okay, but for now let's meet right at this corner here so I can show you how to work into that. Okay, my lovely, so I have reached this corner here where I'm gonna show you how to work into the corner. So as you can see, before the corner we have these 2 stitches. So we're actually gonna skip those 2 stitches to go into this corner here. And this is something that you will see as we go around the work. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a chain of 1, and then we're gonna skip these 2 stitches, and in the corner here we're gonna go in and complete a double crochet, and then a second double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to chain 1, and keep in mind there's a stitch right here, so we're skipping that and this, and then we go right into this one here and do a double crochet, chain one, skip this stitch, in the next one do a double crochet, chain one, skip this stitch, in the next one do a double crochet. Okay, and then what that does is it brings us back to the corner again where we would skip this stitch and this stitch, this one here. Okay, so just so you can see, there's this one here and then there's this one, and then the corner is right here. So we're going to do a chain of one again and go right into the corner, complete a double crochet, and then go into the same stitch to complete a double crochet, and then chain one. Okay, and then chain one, and then we're going to repeat what we did on this side as well as on that side. And this is where I said it's important to know how many stitches you have on this side versus that, and that applies for here and here as well, because the number of stitches you have here matching this and this and matching this makes your work nice and even on both sides, on all sides. Okay, all right, so we did our chain one, which means we're skipping this stitch right here and this one, and in this one we go in and do a double crochet. Okay, and then chain one, skip this stitch, in the next one we do a double crochet. And just so you understand quickly why we're skipping two here, two here, two here, two here, it's because it helps us bend our work like this. So as you can see, we're already kind of starting to create this basket feeling where your work is kind of bending upwards, and it's because we have these more of the skipping, we have more skipping on the corners here to create the work to go up like that. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. But you will start to see that it's like that as we start to continue to go around to create our work. Okay, so continue to do this, and you will do the same thing when you get here. You will skip this stitch and this stitch and go into the corner here and do two double crochets, and then chain one, skip this stitch in here because there's this one here, and then this one, and go into here to do your double crochet, and then you repeat that. And when you get to the very end here, because we do have our two double crochets here, come back to the video and I will show you how to start the next row. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked myself around and I'm back to where we started the project, or the row here. And so I've done my double crochet here, which means I'm skipping these two stitches, this one and this one, and I'm going straight to working on top of this chain two, which we started the row with. So first I need to do a chain one, and then I'm going to go on top of that chain two and do a slip stitch to join this side, this row, to these two sides to finish off the row. And then because we need to be able to work in the middle, I'm going to go into the middle and also do another slip stitch. Okay, so this completes this row here, and that's how it looks like so far. So it looks like a boat. It looks like a raft a little bit here. Okay, so this is how it starts, and then we start the second row. And for the second row, we do a chain of two, which would always count as a double crochet. And then into that same stitch, we do a second double crochet to create our corner here. And then we're going to skip. So keep in mind, this is a stitch here, and then we have our chain two, which is a stitch. Okay, so we're going to do a chain one, skip those two stitches and go into this third and complete a double crochet, and then chain one. Now skip just one, which is just the chain one spot, and go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. So you will notice that when we come to the corners here, we're skipping two on each side to do our corner, and then the rest of it we're skipping one stitch and then a double crochet, skipping one stitch, a double crochet. And again, like I said earlier, that is to continue to make sure our work works itself upwards as opposed to flat, because if we don't, we're going to create this project that are going to sit more like flat, and that's not what we want. We want to be able to create the basket that is going to eventually have a shape of the bag. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work my rows here, which is double crochet on top of the previous double crochet, chain one, skip the single crochet spot, and then or the chain one spot, and then continue to do this pattern. And then when you get to this corner here, come back to the video. I will show you how to work that corner, how to work this corner, and I will have you guys finish the rest of it by yourself. and then I will maybe start the third row of the mesh with you guys, and then that's pretty much it. And then you just repeat this until it's time to do the straps, okay? But meet me when you get to this corner here. Okay, so we have now reached this corner here where we're going to be able to work the corner. So again, this is what we're gonna repeat in every corner that we go into. So we have done our double crochet here, we have a stitch here, and we have this stitch, okay? So we're skipping the chain one, and we're skipping this double crochet, and we're going to go right into the middle. Okay, so we're gonna obviously do our chain one first, and then right into the middle here, we're going to go in and complete 2 double crochets, okay? And this is going to be our corner. Then we will chain 1, and then we skip this stitch, which is this double crochet right here, and then we skip this chain 1 stitch right here, and then we go right into the double crochet. So but we chain 1 first, and then we go into that double crochet to do a double crochet. Chain 1, go into the next double crochet, and then chain 1, go into the next double crochet, and then chain 1, and then again, because it's a corner, we skip the chain 1 and this double crochet, and we go straight into the corner to complete 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, okay? And then again, there's 2 stitches to skip from this side, just like we do in every of these corners. And then we work by skipping just 1 stitch for the rest of the side here, okay? So we do a chain 1, we skip this double crochet stitch, we skip the chain 1, and we go right into the next double crochet stitch to do a double crochet. Chain 1, skip the chain 1, go into the next stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip this chain 1, and then that's it. And then you just continue to repeat that, okay? So as you can see, look at that, okay? So you're gonna do this pattern, repeat it when it comes to the corner here, follow what we just did in this corner, and then you're gonna come all the way here. When you have reached this, where you do your last double crochet right here, come back, and I will show you again how to connect to this chain 2 and how to start the third row. And when you complete this, I'm gonna just kind of have a quick of a start for the third row, and then I'll have you guys work the rest of it until you have what you need. Okay, so I'll see you guys when you get to here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have reached the beginning or the end of the row, but beginning of where we're gonna start the next. And as you can see, I have done my double crochet here, I have done my chain 1, which means we're skipping the chain 1 here, and we're skipping this stitch, and we're going directly on top of the chain 2 here to do a slip stitch, just like that. And then we go right into the middle stitch right here and do a slip stitch to be able to finish off this row. Okay, so this is again how your bag is gonna look. What I do at this point is I flip my work like this because it's gonna make it easier to work on the outside. So we're working on the outside like this as opposed to working on the working inwards like this. Okay, so now that I have this, I chain my 2, which counts as a double crochet, and in that same stitch I complete my second double crochet, and then I chain 2, skip this stitch, skip the chain 1, and then go into the next stitch right here and do my double crochet, chain 1, skip the chain here, go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. So as you can see, there's nothing more for you to do in this case here. It's very easy. You just continue to repeat this around and around and around, and eventually it builds your bag up. And of course, as you go, you can help mold your work. Depends on what kind of yarn you use. This yarn has a tendency to be a little bit more on the stiff side, so you want to be able to just kind of help it by kind of working it like this, okay? And then eventually it's going to build itself upward like this, and then that's how you have your bag, okay? So I'm gonna have you guys work your bag until you have the depth that you want, okay? So because I'm limited in the yarn, that's all I have for this. I'm gonna do until I have, let's say, enough left to do a strap, and then I'm gonna come back because I don't want to have any of this yarn left over. It's gonna be useless if I have just a tiny bit left. So I'm gonna go as deep as the yarn is gonna take me, with the exception of however much yarn that I need to do a strap around like this, and then I'm gonna come back. But if you don't have the issue of the yarn, you can just work until the depth that you want for your bag, and then come back, and then I will show you guys how to start the strap. Okay, I will see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the mesh section of my bag here. So as you can see, this is how it looks like. I ended up stopping because I don't have too much yarn left, and I need to be able to have enough to do my my straps. Okay, so I'm just trying to fix it here so it looks nice. So this is pretty much how it looks like. I have 16 rows here right after the solid part in the bottom. From here to here I have 16 rows, and I stopped because I have that much yarn left. Okay, so I don't have too much, and I hope this will make a decent size of a strap to do. But either way, I'm just showing you guys the tutorial. You can obviously make the length that you want, and you can make the length of the strap that you want. So the main point here is to show you guys how to do the actual bag, and not necessarily if I fall short on the strap, that is not a problem. Obviously you guys, to make your actual bag, will do it so that is the length that you want. Okay, so okay, that's done here. So I said I have 16 rows here. I'm just gonna measure it to see how long that is really quick here. So if I measure this in inches, it's about 11 inches. Okay, so I have 11 inches of the bag here, which is not too deep. But if you have like something small, maybe like novel or something that you read, you can put it in here. A tablet, like you can use it still for other things. It's not small enough that it's not gonna be useless. Okay, so to go ahead and continue to start my straps here, as you can see, I already finished the row here, and I'm now at a spot where we will slip stitch on this side. So I have my double crochet. I will chain one, and then I will go right into the top of this chain two and do a slip stitch just like we did previously. Then I'll go right into the middle and do a slip stitch just like that. Okay, and then now we're going to start the straps for the section here where we're going to be working our strap. So I'm going to be working my strap from this section here to this section. Okay, so which is pretty much the two corners here. Okay, if you need to get some stitch markers, earlier I told you to have some stitch markers available where you can put them here, and that way it tells you where to turn. But I know that I'm gonna turn when I hit this corner here, and then when I come back I'm gonna stop when I hit this corner here. Okay, so to start this row, we're gonna start by doing a chain of 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and be generous with your chains here, don't do it too tight. And then you're gonna turn, and then when you turn, you're gonna go ahead and skip this stitch right here. So there is a stitch, this stitch here, and then there's the chain one. You're gonna skip both of those, and you're gonna go directly into the next stitch and do a double crochet, just like we did when we were starting the rows. And then chain one, skip the stitch here into the next stitch, go ahead and do a double crochet, chain one, skip this stitch, and in the next stitch go ahead and do a double crochet, chain one, and then skip this stitch as well as this and go right to the middle on the other side and do your double crochet. Okay, so this is the first row of our strap, and as you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 double crochets across here, and then we're going to go ahead and do a chain of 3 and turn. And then we're going to skip this stitch here, and in the next stitch we're going to go ahead and do a double crochet, chain one, skip the chain one spot, go into the next stitch and do a double crochet, chain one, skip the stitch and go in the next and do a double crochet, chain one, skip the very third one here, and in the second one go ahead and do your double crochet there, just like that. Okay, and then for row 3 you chain 3. So always you start with a chain 3 before you turn, and then you skip your chain 1 spot in the top of the double crochet, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip this stitch, in the next do a double crochet, chain 1, skip this stitch, in the next do a double crochet, chain 1, skip the third chain, and in the second going downwards you do your last double crochet. Okay, so this is what we continue to do here. As you can see, if I put it down like this, we're creating our strap here, and it's gonna go around like this. But for now, because you're working the strap, it's gonna keep going up higher, and then we will connect it to this side. So it's actually not bending itself. It's gonna continue to just build up higher, and then when you're done, we're gonna connect it to this side. So I will have you guys continue doing that. And as I said, I have just that much yarn left. So I'm going to work until I have just enough left to join on this side, okay? So I have to join this, like this section here on the opposite side. So I'm going to work until I have enough yarn, like maybe a couple of, like maybe 10 inches or so left. And that way I can use my darning needle to join it on the other side. But just build this as long as you need it. I'm only going to stop when my yarn is done because I'm limited in the amount of yarn I have, but you're going to do it until you have the length of the strap that you want, and then come back to the video. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my strap here for the bag. So as you can see, this is it here. It's pretty long, but I did make a little bit of a modification offline. It's not a big deal, but I ended up redoing 2 rows of the body because I worked on the on this part of the strap, and I thought it was not going to be long enough because I want this to go over my shoulder. So I ended up undoing whatever number of rows of the strap that I did, and then removed 2 rows of this. So now instead of 16 rows, I have 14 rows here, and then it allowed me to do a long strap like this that can go over my shoulder. Okay, so I have about 50 rows altogether here, and I went until I ran out of yarn pretty much. So this is a little bit of it that I have, and so I'm gonna use this to join. But what I would actually do, just because this is, I think this is enough to do 1 more row with it, just so that I don't have to, because I'm gonna need just enough to join it here like that, which is not that much. So what I will do is I will just try to do another row, and then we will go ahead and use whatever is left to join, because I don't need that much. And if I don't have enough, I'll just undo and then just waste the little bit that's left. And yeah, I'm gonna end up having to undo it. See, I don't have too much. Okay, all right, so scrub that, and we're just gonna go back to here. And as you can see then, so this is where I ended this row. I'm going to slip stitch and pull, and then pull that to lock it in. And then we're going to make sure you hold your strap in a very straight way like this, so that it doesn't twist. Okay, and then you're going to pretty much bring the body of your bag like this. What I will do is, this is gonna be the way it lays right now. This is the outside of my bag, so I want to keep it like that, and this side is gonna stay the inside. Okay, so in that case, then I'm gonna just put my bag here like this. So I flip it, then I'll bring my strap that I will make sure it's not twisted, and I would line it up to this section here, because as you remember, we are going from this corner to this corner like this. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my darning needle, and I'm going to make sure I put the darning needle, the yarn into the darning needle like that. And then from here, I'm gonna pretty much start from the middle. See, the middle of our corner here. I'm just gonna go there in, and then I go into the first stitch on the other side, and I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna do 1 more into the same stitch, and then pull again. Okay, and then I'm gonna pretty much kind of join it all the way to the end. So I just go into the next stitch, grab 1 loop like that, and go through into the next, bring it through, and make sure you don't pull it too hard, because you don't want to wrinkle your work. You want to make it so that it's not too tight, but it's not too loose either. Okay, just like that. You go into that next stitch, and then into the next stitch. Okay, and as you go, you're kind of just pulling and kind of playing with it so that it doesn't wrinkle up on you. And then into the next stitch, into the next stitch right here. And then you want to go into the next stitch is right here, and into the top of the chain 3 from the other side, and then you go into the middle and go back into that chain 3 in the middle, and then do it one more time, but this time loop your yarn around like this and bring it through, and then remove your darning needle and then just kind of play with it like that. Okay, so it goes from here to here, which is what we wanted, and this is what the other side looks like. Okay, so it just look like one of the rows of the stitches here. And now that we finished that, I'm pretty much gonna just kind of cut this yarn here. I don't weave in when it's like a mesh like this because it doesn't stay weaved in too well. So I just cut it off, and what I do here is I split this yarn. So I split it into a half. You guys know it's a medium number 4, so I have 2 strings on each side, and I do it like this. And I will take my hook and I'll just bring one of them through to this side, and I'll put my yarn here and bring it to the other side. Okay, and then here I will knot it, knot, and then knot it again. And you could do it more than once, more than twice if you want, just to reinforce that area here completely. And then when it's done, you just snip it off, snip, snip, and then just play the knot into the stitch like that. Okay, so that's done, and that's it. And that's pretty much it. Literally that's it. So just to make sure the strap is not bending here, so it goes on the sides like this, and as you can see, it goes all the way up like this. Okay, so that is it, you guys. This is my first bag for the channel, so I hope you guys would like it. I've been asked a few times to do accessories and other things, not necessarily just clothes or wearables. So this is my first one. I decided to do a simple one so that you guys just kind of learn along with me, because it's something that is new for me. So I'm also getting to learn on how to do some of the different designs, and I decided the first one will be a simple one. So this is pretty much it here. So this is a nice one for you to put a book in, or 2. You can put a tablet, even a laptop. Is big enough. I have a laptop, but it fits if I put it in like this, and because this stretches, you can just kind of throw it in there and it will hold it. So this is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching the video to the end. Let me know what you think, and if you think you guys think I should do more accessories like bags and things like that, let me know, and of course I'll go ahead and do some of those for you guys. But yeah, thank you so much again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.